timeline?
Oh man, that's a good one. Wow, starting off the bat.
Yeah.
So I originally, when I was in high school, I wanted to go into like investigative journalism. That was like a completely different thing. Like it sounds weird. I wanted to go into journalism. I wanted to go into like op-eds. I don't know why, but I thought the industry was kind of like how it was in the 70s and the 80s still. I wasn't super familiar with how journalism had kind of changed. This was around 2009, just so you know, just for a time frame. So there wasn't much of the internet, there wasn't really social media, anything like that. And I think the only reason I really wanted to do it was because I didn't really necessarily know how prominent YouTube was going to be. I just wanted to have something where I could like type my words down, and a lot of people would have a big audience for a bunch of people to see it. How newspapers used to be like decades ago. And I think I was like senior year, I realized, oh, this is like a very bad life choice to do, because the whole journalism essentially was just dying. It was a completely different thing. And so I thought, if I do this, if I go down this path, I am going to pretty much go to college to make bare minimum wage, and also just be in an industry that I'm not going to be proud of. It's just a whole thing. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go into history. I'm going to make that my bachelor, and I'm going to go down that path. And then even that was a little bit of a different path too, because if I would have went on and continued my education in history, I would have essentially spent another 10 years in college. And it was one of those things that the channel took off. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with my bachelor's and just invest in the channel. And that's kind of where I've stayed. I think maybe there's a few things with potential like videos. Like if I want to have I made a video about Godzilla like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was the first big thing that the channel blew up. If I didn't make a video about that, I mean, the channel probably would have never reached the point that it did. So
nice. How do you feel about alternate history video games such as Historical Total War or Paradox Grand Strategy? Do you think they're valid use for tools? If not, what elements do they lack to be accurate alternate history simulations?
I mean, is there really a true way to have an accurate alternate history? Like it's self-fiction. I would say I guess maybe to the extent of meme ideologies taking over is probably not the most accurate. But other than that, alternate history itself is not academic. It is just for fun. And those games, if anything, are just the closest we can get to replicating an alternate history scenario every single time you play. So I guess, I mean, there really isn't a way to go closer. I guess there's a way to make it more interesting, which just means add more meme ideologies, which a lot of modders just do all the time. So yeah, play Kaiserreich, I guess. That's yeah, you want more accurate, play Kaiserreich. It's funnier.
I really do see the potential in what they've done over the last decade, as in something that history it's pretty detached. And if you have a personal connection, like if you played the Ottomans or if you played Kaiserreich, now you have a personal connection. And then when you go and watch a YouTube video about something, it feels a lot more personal. You can connect more. You can empathize more with the leader's decisions sometimes. And like I had this one really shitty moment when I was playing either Victoria or U4, where like the game put me in a place where I really wanted to colonize and exploit people and move people around and even do some genocidal shit. And for a moment I was like, okay, it's still evil and shitty, but I kind of understand the premise of it, and now it makes a little bit more sense. So for realism, maybe no, but it really is a doorway for you to unlock other avenues that help you understand history and alternative history better.
Someone's gonna clip that where you just said genocide, and they're gonna take.
This already happened. My pass is already destroyed. Someone clipped me saying that the Mongols, the Mongol genocide, the Mongols did nothing wrong, or something like that, which was out of context, and whatever. I'm already cooked.
We're past that. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
The next one comes from a very, very special person, which is my wife, who asks, Cody, do you think alternate history videos can improve people on an educational level, or are they not suitable for anything outside of entertainment?
I think the one thing that they really do well is they teach the lesson that history is fluid. That
Yeah.
I think a lot of the ideas that, I mean, especially in like younger education, the way that we're taught history is kind of like things are definitive. These were destined to happen. Especially in an American education system, it's like it kind of seems like a lot of U.S. history is predestined. That it was just natural that the U.S. was going to win, the revolution against Britain, or that the Union was going to beat the South, or that the U.S. was going to kind of rise and become the leader of the quote unquote free world as it is. And I mean, there's some truth to like when you look at geography and stuff like that. Yeah, there are natural advantages and stuff like that, but the way that it's taught in education is that these things happened because they were just going to happen no matter what. And what I like about alternate history is that it even if something was going to happen more naturally, if there was going to be a path, you at least explore why, or you learn that sometimes in history things are just flukes and things could have easily went down a completely other path that would have butterflied out and dramatically changed the world. And that's of course on a scenario by scenario basis, but alternate history lets us at least explore that history is full of individual choices that can always influence and butterfly out and completely change events in ways that you never think. It's kind of, I hate the cliche thinking outside of the box, but it's taking history and kind of thinking outside of that box. How about you? How do you think alternate history?
On an education, well, there's some pitfalls. I think I completely support your opinion, but I do like history in general is prone to fall in the politics problem and nationalism problem, and I would say alternate history is even more prone to that. So my answer would be the same as yours, with the asterisk of as long as it doesn't delve into those areas, then absolutely it's an amazing education. In fact, if it doesn't delve into those elements, it might even be more educational than regular history, which is kind of insane. Because when you do alternative history, it's less like going by the book. Like what I like about history in general is it makes you ask a lot of questions. Well, alternative history makes you ask even more questions.
Yeah, and it has you ask the why.
Yes,
basically,
absolutely. Not the who, not the where and the when. The why is super important, and alternative history does that very well. Again, as long as we don't delve into those pitfalls.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, as long as it isn't using it to kind of push something. We're just talking in the purely looking at every factor that went into why an event happened in the way that it did. Then that's kind of how alternate history it just helps you think about things a little bit more unconventionally than you normally would if you just straight up read or were in a lecture or anything like that. That's at least from my experience. Other than that, I mean, this is purely for fun. This is just this is just seeing funny countries change on a map and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
is alternate fantasy something you might consider in the future? Like, what if the Fellowship of the Ring was unsuccessful, etc.? From Chrissy.
I mean, that's just essentially fan fiction, isn't it? I mean, alternate history at its core is kind of history fan fiction.
Yeah,
that removes the last veil of it, and it just straight up becomes fan fiction. I don't. Maybe like 10 years from now, when I'm completely out of ideas, and we just do a whole shift. Sure, why not? We'll make Fantasy Hub. That'll be a thing.
Follow up from me. If you were to make a alt history scenario for fantasy, which franchise would you tackle first, and what's the first scenario that comes to mind? Which
Oh,
Lord of
40K.
the Rings? 40K. Nice.
Warhammer 40K. It would be what if Horus Heresy never happened? What if Horus didn't get corrupted?
Nice. Let's go.
That is the one thing as I've just always. It's the biggest one of the biggest what ifs. I mean, there's Star Wars. I mean, it's kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
Anakin didn't turn to the dark side?
Yeah.
But I mean, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I like the Fellowship idea. I mean, that's too. I think that's a big question. I mean, any fan fiction that's like, what if things didn't get bad, or what if the bad guys won? I mean, any of that.
Yeah.
There's who knows? Maybe we'll do Fantasy Hub in 10 years. Well, maybe we'll do that. Let's do fan fiction videos. I'll be there.
We are now reset and back to question 1, coming in from Tom himself. Cody gets the chance to talk with a historical figure of his choice using a truth serum. Who would it be and why?
I would go to George Washington. I'd be like, "Did you chop down that cherry tree?" No. I mean, a truth serum. That's a. Oh, you know what? I would like to see if FDR did truly know that Pearl Harbor was going to get attacked. That's one. That's one interesting one. I don't know. Maybe Bush and 9/11. Those are. I mean, I guess
if you're going for that angle, it's got to be JFK. Like the things JFK knew.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff.
JFK now, yeah.
With the truth serum.
I like that. I mean, something like that. I mean, that's pretty America-centric, but yeah. I mean, I'm an American, so that's kind of. How about you?
Oh shit! Well,
other than JFK.
No. I would go for to sit. This question is like knowledge and sitting down and having a conversation with. If it's sitting down and having a conversation with somebody, I would probably go for Theodora. But if it's for knowledge, like which sit-down conversation with any historical figure would give me the most amount of knowledge? That's probably no. The thing is, Genghis Khan. We only know about the history of the Mongols, all of it, because of the secret history of the Mongols, most of it, because there was this like religious idea that you shouldn't illustrate or talk about people during their life, which is super fucking weird. And I would like to get to the bottom of that. Another one would be Caesar, because like with the truth serum aspect, I'm like, okay, you talked a lot of stuff. How much did you lie? How much of it was it true? Why did you get stabbed? Did you think you were gonna get stabbed? Like, there's a lot of amazing questions you could ask Caesar with that serum.
Yeah, I mean it's a little generic, but I'd do Caesar. I think that would be. How did you think of the British when you first saw them? Or I know he wrote that down, but yeah, more discuss that. I'd tell him how Britain changed in those 2,000 years.
Well, okay, this is a server question. What does it take to make a good flag by Mr. Flip?
Oh,
what makes a good flag?
I mean, it sounds dumb. It sounds like the most simplest answer, but it really does come down to, does it look good? No matter what. I know there's the rules of vexillology. There's CGP Grey, which talks about flags need to follow a strict rule and be simple, and there's the rule that a kid needs to draw them and stuff like that. All lies. None of that matters. No, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how complex it is. It matters, does it look good? And do people agree that it looks good?
Wait. That's a cop-out. I have to call you out on this, because the question really literally is, what makes... then I ask you, what makes a good-looking flag in your opinion? Like, what's one rule that easily makes a good flag?
Okay, and then I'm going to give another... Okay, I'm going to cop out more. It's whatever my opinion is of what makes a good flag. I can't... Well, it's just like saying what makes a good painting. You know, flags at their core are... I mean, they're ideological and they're based to represent a nation, but they are kind of an aesthetic. It's like, there are a lot of people that find medieval flags disgusting, but I mean, I love medieval flags. Yes. I think medieval flags are great. And then there's also people that love simplistic flags, like the Japanese provincial flags, and they're like, oh, these are like the perfect flags, and I think they just look like logos. And sometimes for me, in my opinion, personally, I think there's such things as too simple,
Yes.
where it doesn't even
Yes.
have meaning anymore. There's people that look at the California flag and they're like, this is good, this is perfect. But let's just get rid of the California Republic. Get rid of the font, CGP Grey. But and it's like, no, keep that. It says California Republic. It wasn't even a republic really, but just keep that anyway because it looks good. So I mean, it sounds like a cop out, but no matter, it's kind of any explanation for what makes a good flag is kind of just wrong because it's such a subjective opinion. Everyone's favorite flag is most of the time whatever their home country is. It's whatever they have an emotional attachment to. So that's my little thing. How about you?
Nice. Oh, to be honest, I also agree with you. Like I don't know, like from the flag, I notice myself liking a lot. I see a lot of symmetry. I like dragons. I like simplicity when it's done well, good contrast, stuff like that. But it really is super subjective. Well, there's some objectively awful flags,
Yeah, there are.
but
Yeah. True.
but the best ones is hard. Kind of secretly Welsh.
Definitely the worst. Definitely the worst ones are like the state flags are. There are truly bad state flags that are just the blue banner with the seal. I mean, but even those are kind of funny because do you know the reason why most state flags are blue banners and seals? It's not just laziness. It's not just that.
The paint that was available.
No, so one of you ever notice that most of the flags actually practically all the flags that have a blue banner and a seal are in the north.
Okay.
So the reason why so many, especially northern, midwestern, and northeastern flags have blue banners and a seal is because having a independent flag before like the 1920s was seen as un-American. It was seen as more secessionist. And so they intentionally changed their flags to be the Union blue, to be unified, and have the only distinction of them being that seal, which is why like Kansas. I mean, Maine actually had a really good flag in the 19th century, and then they intentionally changed it because most of their representatives were Civil War veterans that wanted to make it Union blue. So they had a really good flag and they completely changed it to a seal. So it's like, oh, you can't really tell a difference between all of these flags. Well, that was the point that they wanted to do. I mean, I don't like it. I still think the flags are ugly. But that's kind of a method to the madness. But I know that's completely off topic.
Just so we can go through more of these, because I can already see a lot of people being upset that we didn't read their questions. I challenge you for the next 10. We can slow it down again, but for the next 10 questions, let's do a blitz round. Are you ready?
Yep, sounds good. Yep.
If you had to change one thing about history, what would you change? The Congress of Berlin and how stupid it was.
All the bad things happening.
Bad things happening. What is your favorite video of yours from Graf Schwartz?
From what?
From Graf Schwartz, the person who asked it.
Oh, I thought you were saying what my favorite video from Graf Schwartz. I was like, I don't know who that is. My favorite video I've ever made. Honestly, I think it is the what if. It's the video that was what if Trump lost the election and then it completely devolved into Jeb Bush becoming Emperor of Mankind and and it just became a 40K dump. That was the funnest to make, honestly.
The chat, some of the people in the chat who know this like instant.
Oh yeah, for Jeb Bush. I think there's a lot of people too.
What video do you think had the best accuracy in terms of what if scenario from the Coton lad?
I mean, my general theory is that videos that I think I've just made, I think are the most accurate. And then the later they go, the further I am from them, the more I learn and the more I realize I was wrong. So I guess right now it's the Chernobyl video because it's the most recent one that we made. But I mean, I think in terms of accuracy, you know what? Probably the what if I did a video about what if the fourth plane in 9/11 had hit its target, and I think I was pretty generous about that. It was either the White House or the Capitol building, and that's like such a. There's very few things that could have changed there. I think I was pretty spot on with that one, but everything else, all fiction. So,
favorite TV show by Buddy? For me, it's Arcane. Easy.
Arcane. I would say, favorite TV show.
But that's just one season. No, because it's just one season, I'm gonna go with Breaking Bad as the whole. Arcane has seasons like season 1. I'm going to go Arcane, but right now Breaking Bad is still
Avatar. Avatar.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've watched Avatar probably 10, 15 times, rewatched throughout. I watch it every year. So yeah, definitely Avatar.
Okay, this is I already have it in the list, so this is already asked the question. We'll just skip to it for a second. Did you watch the show on Netflix, and what did you think of it?
I saw the first episode. I saw one episode. I watched it with my wife. It wasn't horrendous. But I saw the last Airbender movie 2 weeks ago for the Pointless Hub video, and I think that kind of blocked that. It was like nothing could be possibly as bad as the last Airbender movie. So it was kind of a breath of fresh air. I was like, oh, Sokka is acting like Sokka. And there were elements that you could tell they tried to do the characters. I think just out of principle, though, it's the fact that there is a live action Avatar movie or show. There's no replicating it. And so we watched it and we were like, okay, that's all right. But then I also thought, why would I waste like 8 more hours seeing a lesser version of a show I already watched? Because I'm just going to be judging it. And I saw some Boomy clips, and I saw how Boomy acted, and I think that made me not want to watch the rest of the show, because I'm like, I'm just going to get mad. Me and my wife are going to get pissed if we watch this. So, yep, that's Avatar.
I see. I've not watched the show. I've watched the movie, and I binged the whole series on Netflix because with the baby, there were some sleepless nights, and it was when I wanted to calm Bella down, I just grabbed her. She sleeps a lot better when she's on top of me or mommy. So we binged it together, and this is coming from someone who hasn't watched the original show. I fucking loved it. I loved pretty much almost everything about it.
Wow. I'm glad.
I definitely give it an 8 out of 10.
Good on you, man. I mean, honestly, just watch the original series too, please.
I will. Now I will.
Yeah.
Now I will. I've never touched it.
Your introduction. Yeah.
Okay, back to the Blitz. Alternate history requires a lot of extrapolation. How do you decide what happens and what would have had large consequences, especially considering that nothing ever happens by Shizuka?
Considering nothing ever happens, I see what they did there. I mean, it really is. Alternate history is a story, and these YouTube videos are themselves mini stories. They're kind of just short stories that are about things that happened, and we quote unquote predict what would have happened. So really, it's up to whatever is most important to conveying the change of the scenario. Like, I'm not going to talk about some random. I mean, if I could have a 2-hour video that just kind of spreads out and be about a bunch of completely random things that are only adjacently related to the scenario. But you have to. A lot of the writing is about picking and choosing what you keep in, what you cut out. And I'm trying to think of a best way to talk about this. I guess it's a narrative. It's whatever helps the narrative the most.
Absolutely. But there's also you can follow some breadcrumbs. But that's if you do a lot of research. Two quick things that break the blitz rule, but just I think they're interesting. One, I was talking with this person who was asking for advice on alternate history building, and I told him that like every fantasy show, you need to have a strict rule set on
Yeah.
the world building. How does magic work? How do lightsabers in Star Wars work? And you need to be consistent with that world building. If your point of divergence is crazy, lean in on the crazy and be crazy throughout. But if you want a more realistic take a realistic point of divergence and continue it through. Is that impossible? No, it's not, because I've dabbled with considering what would have happened if Constantinople fell in 717. Well, am I just going to come up with shit on the spot? No, I can take a look at 1204, see the fragmentation of the empire then, see how human beings acted then, and extrapolate some ideas from there. Obviously, it's not going to be the same, but if you do
Yeah.
some research, the fact that history repeats itself is very positive, and using that method, you can be like, oh, okay, maybe I can assume something. It's always going to be fantasy, always, but you can at least try to base it in reality, and the more you base it in reality, the more educational it is.
Yep. A lot of it's
The
tone
next one,
too.
again from Shizuka, is very good. Was it a love of history that inspired your love of alternative history, or was it the other way around?
Definitely was the love of history first. I only got into it because the guy group that I was like, my friends in high school, we were all massive history nerds. I think we loved Red Alert 3, which now that I think about it, Red Alert is itself an alternate history thing, but I didn't know it back
Yes.
then. So actually, you know what? I changed it. It was technically alternate history because but we didn't know it was alternate history. We didn't really think about that. But I think that was the first time that we were like really into, we were like, okay, like Soviet memes and
Yes.
all that sort of stuff. But then because of that, my buddy introduced me to a channel called Alternate History PT, and then that changed my life because I saw his videos and I was like, wow, these are terrible. I could do these better. And and I think doing these videos has really, I mean, I'm researching, I'm learning while doing these things. You're never done learning about this. So I think in a way, over the last 10 years, it has definitely been the alternate history which has made me fall even more in love with history, because I'm much more into it now than I ever was in high school and back
Yeah. I was about to say the exact same thing. Then you brought Red Alert up, and I remember Red Alert 2 was my starting point, and then Assassin's Creed, Civilization, Age of Empires, the Paradox
then.
games, they definitely were the thing that kindled my love of history first. Then I became a huge fan of history, and then that fueled alternative history, and I bounced back. So yeah, very nice arc.
Yeah.
From Rano Musi, who has a couple of really good questions. So for all of your time making alternative history videos, which one would you say you had the most fun with? Like so fun to the point you would make it into either a game or another book?
Oh, I just did. I just did another video. I'm trying to remember. I sorry, I'm looking up my own past videos I've done. I've had like 7 projects in the last 2 weeks, so I'm just like, or the last 2 months. So I'm trying to figure out which ones.
Oh yeah.
I just did one that I really loved. Oh, it was the what if Cortez lost to the Aztecs? I would 100%. I know that was a video that you wrote, but we wrote that together. That was the thing that we came up with. We sat down and we fleshed out that scenario, and
Yes.
unfolding it just brought up this idea of like, oh my god, we got a great book on our hands. We have
Absolutely.
a thing where the Spanish aren't this hegemon in the Americas, and it's much more fragmented. And we came up with this idea that essentially the English would become pirates in the Caribbean and
Yeah.
kind of hide from the Spanish, but also they would quote unquote be illegally trading with the still powerful Aztecs that would be holding on. And I think the ideas that we had was that because the Aztecs would be seen as like these devil worshippers, it was almost taboo to trade with them. But there would still be people that would want to trade with the Aztecs because they're rich. So it would be this like illicit black trade of going and sneaking off and trading with the Aztecs and hiding from the Spanish. and we had an idea of like there would be a pirate hub where modern day Houston and Galveston would be. It would be away from the Spanish eyes. And yeah, that was kind of that was, if I was going to do another book, it would 100% be that.
There's a lot of people with Chernobyl saying like part two on Chernobyl, and they've been saying it on all our videos. And I actually haven't told you this yet, but I genuinely think that we should make a community poll, basically, maybe next month, and reference the 4 or 5 videos that did the best. So it's definitely going to be, I think right now it's Chernobyl, Cortez, Genghis Khan, and maybe Varna, maybe something else, and let's say, and the people will decide which one gets a sequel. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I
would be like, please vote for Cortez. Please vote for Cortez.
Yeah, we could flesh that out a lot more. I know the U.S. State Anthem video definitely needs a sequel, which I'm so sad that did not perform as well as I was hoping. I was hoping it would have. I mean, there's still gonna be a part 2, but I just know it's gonna not perform as well. Anyway, continue. Yeah, we're still going.
A lot of people are also mentioning Varna. Yeah. Okay, same guy. Along with that, which alt history scenario do you think has been done to death? Like you have seen it so much that it no longer feels unique or still holds something special?
Oh, we all know it's all World War II. Anything?
Germany,
World War II.
Yeah, we all know it. Who is your triple from Khan Skule? Who is your favorite historical figure? Why are we all called Jimmy? How would you advise someone trying to build a historical YouTube channel?
I mean, historical figure. I mean, my favorite, I would say, is, well, I mean, I'm Catholic, so my saint is Saint Thomas Aquinas. I think
nice.
I the way that he kind of he really made faith. He blended faith and the sort of understanding of faith in a way that led to what would eventually become like, the Enlightenment and stuff like that. But I would say, I don't want to lore dump it, but I would just say St. Thomas Aquinas. He's my saint, so he's definitely my favorite. Well, other than obviously Jesus, but yeah. How about you?
Nice. Me, I go Alexios Komnenos.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's fair. This
just a very nuanced
Western and Eastern right here. That's the two.
Definitely my boy Alexius. Just I have a thing for someone who can take a bunch of punches and come back. Someone who has incredible willpower, resolve, been through a ton of stuff. Like, yeah, that's my guy.
Okay, there you go. Western and then Eastern. Right, cool. All right.
Why are we all called Jimmy?
He was actually originally called Timmy. But that sounded too much. That was too much like Timmy Turner, and so I don't know. It became like one of those gradual things. Whereas I didn't want to just call, because Jimmy was a placeholder for the audience. Jimmy's like that generic, random, annoying YouTube commenter that would over ask something. And I just felt like Jimmy was a funny name, and it made me laugh. And it was so funny watching Better Call Saul, because then I made the Jimmy name, and then like 4 years later, Better Call Saul came out, and then his real name was Jimmy McGill, and I was like, yes, it was hilarious. But yeah, Jimmy, it just stuck.
Nice. A question from our Irish queen. What video did better or worse than you originally thought, and why do you think that is?
Oh, that's that's a very common thing. This happens to me a lot, so that's why I'm like trying to think about it. There's so many videos that I had so much pride in, and I release them, and then they just bomb, or they underdo. And then there's others that I just don't care about, and I send them out, and then they blow up. I feel bad having to go back and look at my things. I would say there was a video that I did a thing on I'm trying to think. I'm shocked how much the Ancient Aliens video blew up. That's like 4 million. That's like 5 million views now. I think when I made that was every, I'm just for the sake of it, every April Fool's video I've ever made, has always been the ones that have exploded the most, and I've never ever anticipated them doing it. So that's my answer. I think probably any video that I spend a month with, they usually underperform.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably this most recent state anthem one. I was really hoping it would grow, but it's kind of stagnated. So
Yeah. What is your childhood historical obsession by Hisinshu?
childhood historical obsession. I'm trying to think of one that I like. I wasn't really into history until I was in high school. But maybe, you know what? Actually, I would say my earliest was like colonial times.
Mm,
Because just being an American and just how drastically different the continent was 300, 400 years ago, seeing that evolve. I would say that was the first time I was like it just kind of blew my mind.
yeah.
So probably that revolutionary era.
I'm not sure mine counts, but like I remember it vividly, and I have to say Greek mythology,
Yeah.
mostly because of the Age of Mythology series, and I really was obsessed with it, and
Hey.
got me into the whole mythology arc, and Norse mythology and Egyptian mythology. How many people do you have helping you on a video?
Well, I mean, well, right now it's just you, Gorgie. But yeah, it used to be just me. And then last year, Gorgie's came in and helped so much, and we're still trying to build up a team. I know we
Yeah,
have we were using a few editors
yeah, yeah,
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah, we got a
Um,
good team, but it's never going to be like a mass production with like 50
yeah,
people.
yeah. And it was just one of those things that now I've done Alternate History Hub basically by myself for 10 years, and it's like I
It's
don't want
insane,
to.
by the way.
Yeah,
Which is
just editing and
insane.
everything. And I never really, I would never get videos out. And now that I have Pointless Hub, it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm just gonna. I think if we just make this a team effort project, and then I move on to Pointless Hub and make that a purely, thing that I'm still editing Pointless Hub completely by myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, you're a lifesaver for this whole thing.
Thank you so much, man. If you were to rank presidents of the United States by impact on history of the country, who would you put in your top 5? U.S.
Nope.
presidents. Let's go.
Okay. I mean, number
Where are you
one.
putting Teddy? Where are you
Where am
putting
I
Teddy
putting?
is the most
Where am I
important
putting?
question.
I'm playing. And we're just gonna put all of Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore is gonna be the thing I should top for. I think I'm probably Teddy in like 3. I would say.
Okay.
I know it sounds a little generic, but number 1, I would say George Washington, mainly
Okay.
just by the precedent he set, and also the stuff that he did before. Everything he did before being president was more impactful than what he did as president. But even leaving office and setting that precedent was just never done before. It was that Cincinnatus role that kind of people were like, oh well, since Washington did it, this is what we do. So I'm a little generic, but I do think Washington number 1. Lincoln 2, just because everything revolving around his election and how the Civil War and everything. I really need to explain Lincoln 2. 3, probably Teddy. No, Jefferson. I would say Jefferson because Jefferson inspired a whole ideology of what America should be. The Jeffersonian ideal, which was very prevalent in the South. And I think that's still something that a lot of people still think about today. There's still that Jeffersonian idea that still exists. Then Teddy, because of the opposite thing that he did, he brought in that modern progressivism, completely different progressivism back then, and also, I mean, you're trying to make me think off the top of my head of like a 4 and 5.
I can give you my 5 while you think of your 4 or 5 because mine's going to be very wide.
You go. Yeah.
The question is impactful. If the question was like awesome or something like that, my answers would be different.
Oh,
but impactful, I would say Roosevelt. So like
FDR.
FDR 1, Lincoln 2,
FDR 1.
Washington 3, hold on,
Jackson.
Teddy's kind of overhyped, honestly. Like, he didn't do much with Japan. He had some national parks. Teddy is amazing, but in terms of impactful list, I would put Jefferson 4 and Trump 5 just for the flavor, but also not just for the memes. Trump 4,
I put Jackson at 5.
Jackson 5? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson's a good 5.
Yeah, I would say Jack, because I mean, even if you want to lump Trump into that, Trump is that's Trump's main thing is Jackson. So yeah, definitely Jackson. Yeah, the Jackson 5. There we go. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Don't get me wrong, guys. Teddy really had a lot of impact, but we're talking top 5 here.
Yeah, I mean it's off the top of my head. I guess that's the who knows.
Yeah. Okay.
John Tyler.
Next one. What's your favorite series that you covered on Pointless Hub from Dubuque?
Oh, my favorite series. I mean, I haven't really covered a lot of series. I guess right now it would just be. Was Sharknado or Transformers more entertaining to cover? I would say probably Transform. I mean, it sounds cliche, but as of right now, I haven't covered a lot of series. I want to do a Godzilla video. I want to do a video where I just watch every Godzilla movie. So I guess that's probably gonna be my. I'm gonna just say preemptively Godzilla. Godzilla is gonna be the series I'm gonna enjoy. Definitely gonna be better than Sharknado and Transformers for sure. So
nice. Did you like the Epic Rap Battles of History video with the Godzilla?
It was all right. It was. I want to do an Epic Rap. Yeah, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Is there any period of history that you have lost interest in researching by Saratov?
World War II. Anything World War II. Sick of it.
Yeah.
It's done to death.
I haven't delved into that too much, so I can still delve into it, but I totally get it. For me, it's probably actually going to be, but yeah, it's Rome or World War II.
That's fair. Rome is actually.
But Rome is way more depth than World War II just because of the period. Yeah. From Bebop, which cliche in alternate history fiction do you hate the most?
The cliche. I mean, this kind of ties into World War II. I mean, it's the cliche of. There's a lot of cliches. There's Big Bad. The Nazis control the world because they won World War II. There is. I guess. Oh, the British, America becoming 100% British because they lost the Revolutionary War. And it's like, no, America probably would have just become like Canada. Like Canada never won their independence. They don't speak with a British accent. Yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, those are like the two big ones.
Yeah. To me, the cliche in terms of like cliches, like what if Alexander didn't die and what if Caesar didn't die? I get those. Those are two scenarios. I want to scream to those people. It's like, it's not an interesting scenario. We are in the better timeline because of what happened in their life. If you kill him too early or you prolong their life, it's a less interesting timeline in both cases.
Yeah, I think I did the Alexander one last year. Yeah.
No, it's like a cliche. No, it's
it's a cliche. Yeah, it's a cliche.
It's super cliche. I decided to keep this one from Bebop. He asks you, why is Pennsylvania better than Ohio?
Oh, those are fighting words. It's not.
Bebop, are you here to back up those words, my friend? Or are you gonna hide?
Nah, I'm not gonna.
Which national or subnational cuisine do you like best? Like French, Indian, Cahoon, American chimay, etc.
I mean, like sub. I mean, I would say Southern barbecue. That's I mean, that's just my go-to 100%. I mean, I smoke. I'm aiming to be like a professional. Well, not professional, but go and do pit barrel smoking and stuff like that at stuff.
Nice.
I would, and I mean, I'm living in Texas. That's just that's the cult. That's how you're surrounded by that. I guess a sub one is probably like maybe Italian, maybe Tex-Mex. I mean, it's something around that. Cajun. Actually, you know what? Yeah, someone just said it. Cajun's 100% probably like Southern barbecue and Cajun are like my
Nice.
two favorite. And my wife hates seafood. She hates Cajun. So if I bring it up, she's just like, oh, just can't take it. It makes me like Cajun even more because it's funny because it bothers her. So yeah. How about you?
Me, if I want to be 100% honest, coming from a European, it's either Italian or American. Like, for all the shit people give to American food, you can't shit on a cuisine that we eat all the time. Like, nothing beats a really good burger. Like, okay, or let me say this. If I have to choose between the best burger imaginable and the best pizza imaginable or best pasta imaginable, I'm going burger every time. So how can you not put America on top when it's morphed Chinese food? Like, what something people don't know is, wait, it cut off? Yeah. Chinese food is not Chinese, it's American version of Chinese food. Like, real Chinese food is different and worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta tip my hat off to the Americans. Like, good, there's some really good cuisine.
Flag waving. I just saw a bald eagle fly past my window when you said that. Tear in my
eye. What's your? Sorry, what?
If I may jump in, Bebop just announced he will not hide. Do you want him to argue on stage?
I'm not gonna adamantly. I don't even live in Ohio anymore. I'm not gonna adamantly defend it. He can come up here and have a whole Pennsylvania rant if he wants. Sure, why not?
Okay, then we continue with Q&A.
Okay.
We're gonna do a separate event where we do live debates against Cody.
Yeah.
This is still the Q&A, which, my God, we are at question 26.
Okay, we gotta speed this up.
Let's speed it up. What's the most monotonous part of making videos?
Writing. Writing probably mainly just because when you're writing, you're researching, and everything. There's always a rabbit hole. There's always one little path that you got to go down. Sometimes it'll be just a day of researching just for something that'll be a paragraph in the video, just because I know if I don't adamantly research it, I might get it wrong, and then the whole scenario will be completely bunk because of it. Definitely the research and writing part.
Are there any regions, for me it's either social media or research, is there any region's history that you wish to explore more? Indonesia.
Asian.
Oh, let's go!
Yeah, Indonesia. I want to make a video. I actually want to make a whole video just talking about how underrepresented, like, Indonesia's just like never talked about. It's the 4th most populous country in the world. We just never hear about it ever. And I don't know, I got really into Indonesian like architecture and stuff too. It's just this whole thing. It's just a series of islands, and it's like, oh, that's cool as hell. So yeah, definitely Indonesia in the future. Hey, there you go. Good.
Amazing. Amazing. Is there any historical event that you think was much less important than it's played up to be by Union City?
Much less important than it's played up to be.
Okay, Louisiana Purchase. What's gonna happen anyway, guys? It's gonna happen anyway. They didn't give a fuck about it. It's not that big a deal that Jefferson got the Louisiana Purchase for pennies. And it wasn't that much pennies. Way more played out than it actually was.
I'm gonna have to think. I mean, I can't really think of something off the top of my head, so maybe, yeah. What? USS Maine exploding. Really, just because that was going to happen anyway too. So yeah. Remember the Maine. To hell with Spain. Oh, fun, Jess.
Skanderberg says, "Who is your favorite figure from Ohio?"
Oh, my favorite figure from Ohio. I'm trying to remember all the Ohio presidents, actually, because I can't. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna say Neil Armstrong, because he lived in a town that was only like 40 minutes from where I lived. So yeah, you hear about Neil all the time.
Nice. Jao asks, "What's in your opinion the nation that had the most success historically speaking?
What was that? Sorry, I gotta repeat that.
Yeah, sometimes it cuts off. I'm sorry. Which nation do you think was the most successful historically?
Are we talking nation or civilization? I mean, we're
He says
talking.
he's saying nation.
I would say Britain. Honestly, I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna say England. England specifically, because I mean, you're taking an island that was seen as like the edge of the world only 1,000 years ago. It spent most of its time it was under the influence of the Vikings and the French and stuff like that, and it was just kind of seen as this backwater until then it went from that. I mean, if you time traveled 600 years ago and be like, hey, England, that's gonna become the biggest empire that's ever existed, and that language is going to be across all areas of the globe. It's going to become the lingua franca, or however you say that. It'd be like, you're nuts. Why would you think that? And so I think definitely England specifically.
Very
America
nice.
doesn't count because that's tied to England too.
So. America, I think, is on the similar level to England. The thing about America is that it had a lot of population to do what it did.
America's a result of England, though. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But for the underdog option, something that people won't think about, like the opposite of America and England, in my opinion, is a country with very little population and resources and territory that did pretty well to me. I think it's Switzerland. And if you look at it, the whole history, how it's locked between all these powerful nations and what it did, I think Switzerland and maybe, the Dutch are pretty good examples of successful nations.
I could see that. Did it say underdog? Was that part of the question?
No, it's all about success. If it's underdog, I think it changes it. But to me, it plays into the question very much.
Yeah. Actually, this is going to be... Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say the Dutch. Yeah.
What do you see yourself as a content? What do you see for yourself as a content creator in the future? More wacky videos, more contemporary history, those sorts of things by Missoula.
Really just about releasing more videos in general. I mean, traditionally I've been releasing like one video a month because I've just been completely doing it by myself. I think once we build up a team that we can get these things out even at a weekly basis, I really want to do that. Like every Friday we're just releasing something. Then we can and then we can mix up what type of videos that we do. I mean, I want to do still the pure alternate history videos. I always want to do that. The occasional history video, maybe too. I want to do I mean, sometimes even mixing it up with like iceberg or the tier list. I love doing those because they're just fun.
Yeah.
And then even I was thinking about it, even bringing back some of the lore videos, because I look back at the history of the channel, and it's like so much growth of the channel came from those lore videos, like the Fallout video and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what if I went back and I just like I remade the Fallout video, or if I made a lore video for like Warhammer, and we're just making so many videos that it's like we have the alternate history videos, the pure alternate history videos still going, but there's just a much more.
Lex, sorry. Lex says, who's like $100 founder. He says he joined you from the Kaiserreich one.
Oh, cool.
So definitely a lot of growth from those videos.
Yeah, it's just about because the alternate history videos are fun, but they don't. It's kind of almost like the lore videos are almost advertisements for the rest of the channel. Like, we got more stuff. So,
and this server really opens up some doorways because, like, with all the amazing stuff these people are writing, like, we could have like a contest in this server for a bunch of silver, but also the best scenario could make it not just as a suggestion, but like down the line, I see some of the most talented writers in here pitching in with script or something else. There's amazing meme makers. Like connecting with the community more. And I mean, this server is such a good hub for so much amazing stuff that's happening. Next we have, what is more challenging? Oh my God. What is more challenging, taking care of Isabella in the middle of the night or managing a new wave hitting the server? Definitely the wave. Easy. The wave is so much harder. Why is there such a severe lack of videos in the BC era from T3? Honestly, not a lot of material to go on. Like when you're making,
Yeah.
you need as much of content, as much of things to, because like if you take a look at Alexander for a second, we knew that he wanted to attack Arabia before he died. That was his plan. If he didn't die, he was gonna go to Arabia. Okay, let's make alternate history there. Well, what the fuck is in Arabia? We have no sources. We have no idea who the enemies will be, where the
Yeah.
battles will be fought. So I think I would
It gets to
love
a
an
point
alternative
where
history for Bronze Age collapse or something, but there's so little you can chew on.
it gets to a point where I even did a Bronze Age collapse video, and it's like it gets to a point where it's no longer history; it's just archaeology.
Yes.
And that's fun to do. But you're just talking about what if this group thousands of years in the past slightly changed compared to another group thousands of years in the past. You got that 1,000 years of history. Eventually, it just kind of blends together, and it's not going to change that much. I mean, it's still fun to do. It's not.
Yeah.
I've done a few, but it's not.
I am so glad we got to this question, Cody. Okay, Cody, you have this is from Fordlandia. You have which is from the Henry Ford thing, I think. You have a dinner party with 100 people at 7 p.m. You have all day to prepare, and all the food is being brought for you. But you have to cook on your own. What is the appetizer, main, and dessert? You could ask any question, and you went with so many details to ask him this.
Oh God, I'm like, this is like one of those like test questions you got to write a short essay for. Okay, so dinner party, 100, right? 100 people.
Yes.
My mic coincidentally cut out as soon as you were saying that thing, and so all I got was appetizers and thing. Oh God! Repeat the last part of that question because it really did cut out for me. So I lost like.
What is the appetizer, main, and dessert?
Oh, okay. Appetizer. Oh, you know what? Appetizer. Those Red Lobster biscuits. Those are great. We'll do those. The main will be a generic McDonald's burgers. Like what Trump did. Like what Trump did at the whole thing. Yeah, we'll do that. And then dessert will be Dr. Pepper shakes from Whataburger. Just all like 50 of them. And they're all gonna melt. They'll all be half melted. So
nice, amazing. Is there a limitation to what scenarios you're willing to cover?
Yeah, anything with anything super political. Like right now, Israel Palestine, never touching that with a 10-foot pole. Anything with like genocide, like if the video, like what if the word I was thinking like what would be the worst video title ever, and it would be the video it would be called "What if the Holocaust never happened?" That would be the worst. That'd be the worst video. Wow. Yeah, there's so many.
Oh my God,
that'd be the worst thing. Yeah, so that would be like the worst video ever. Yeah, other than that, I mean, anything with genocide, anything that people are super personally attached, any recent election, I think within the last like two election cycles, then no. It's just common sense. Don't be dumb.
Which would you rather personally choose to be in? World War I or World War II?
I guess it depends on the theater. How about World War II? But
cherry pick it.
Honestly, World War II probably the North African campaign. I mean, if we're going with something
good one, or even the Italian one, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, even though that was kind of sort of brutal. Honestly, North Africa, World War II.
Yeah.
We're going. I'm not being in the trenches. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Suzo asks a bunch of questions. I'll pick one of them. Actually, okay, so we reached the 1 hour point. We are at question 37.
Woof.
And there's 100. Well, there's 106.
We'll go quicker. We'll go quicker with these. We can do it. I believe.
Okay, super blitz power time. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. 30. Okay. Out of all the alternative history scenarios you have researched, is there anyone that you personally wish had happened?
Oh, I'm going back to my videos to see this stuff. I mean, what would you say? Just while I'm looking.
I would say, damn.
I mean, the default maybe. What if Rome never fell? That's always fun.
Yeah. What
But
if
you
the
know, I'd actually be
bubonic?
interested.
No. The bubonic plague never happening would be awful. Like that.
Well, you
That's
know what?
actually a worse timeline.
What if Japan had converted to Christianity? I think that would have been interesting. So
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. What if there's a continent in the Pacific? Because that's just a big old continent right there. I think I imagined it would be like Polynesian. It'd be like the Polynesian continent. Yeah, it'd be Mu.
Yeah.
I'd say Mu.
That'd
Any
be cool.
fictional continent. That'd be fun. Yeah.
That would be fun. Which event do you think changed history the most by St. Davis?
I mean, probably, and the most. I mean, probably either Genghis Khan not getting killed, Caesar being assassinated is one.
Yeah.
Jesus being crucified, another. I mean, there's like 15 that you could say.
Yeah.
Napoleon. How about you?
This is such a good question. Oh, for me,
All of
like,
Constantinople.
which event do you think changed history the most? Oh, damn. Like, probably something like the printing press or the Industrial Revolution type thing. Like, definitely not a battle. Definitely not. Probably some societal big change. Possibly the French Revolution. It's tricky. It's tricky. Also, what do we consider an event exactly?
Event, yeah, it's like a very specific. It's a total thing.
But honestly, the Mongols breaking out because it spirals into gunpowder and Black Death and destruction civilizations, and it's a singular event. The Mongols breaking out, you can see in a capsule. French Revolution, printing press. Those are not really encapsulated events. Caesar as well, and if it's
you know what? I got one. I got one. The asteroid doesn't hit the dinosaurs. There you go.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, that's your biggest one.
I want to read this out by Anna, but maybe it's for another time, but it's such a good question. In general, what does the process of writing scripts look like? Apart from Patreon and YouTube votes, who tends to come up with the initial concepts? How much workshopping goes into refining the general concept scenarios? What sort of strategy is there for keeping scripts concise while still exploring the topic? Are jokes and cutaways included in the initial draft? Those are a lot of questions. I guess we'll keep for some other time. What's your blitz response to this?
I mean, really, it's whatever you feel like. It's whatever we're feeling like at the time. It's like, oh, I feel like talking about Eastern Europe. Oh, I feel like talking about America. I got really into the Comanche recently, so I want to do a video about the Comanche. And that's just how it goes. I mean, jokes are written into the video while you're doing it. Sometimes half the jokes are in the edit. Just do a funny picture and something. That's a joke. And I guess, that's it.
What is your favorite historical empire? Preferably not a common one.
1 sec. My thing, my headset died. 1 sec.
Oh, good.
My thing is finicky, so that's why I'm favorite historical empire. Though I'm gonna answer while doing this. I would say, I mean, I guess Rome. That sounds generic, but it's Rome really is the progenitor of all of that.
Do you like sports? If so, which team?
Do
you hear me?
Yep, I hear you now.
Okay. Do you like sports? If so, which team?
Oh, I love. So my Okay, this is gonna sound really freaking confusing. So my dad's side of my family, we're from upper state New York, and so massive Bills fans. So for football, for professional football, Buffalo Bills. For college, I lived in Ohio, and my whole family grew up in Ohio. So Buckeyes, 100% for college football. And then for baseball, I'm personally more for Tigers, but my wife's family is all Yankees fans. So inadvertently, also I got dragged into that. got dragged in all that. So bunch of different. So I would go Bills, Buckeyes, and then because my wife's family is more into baseball, I'm around them a lot. Yankees. So
Nice.
there you go.
Annecy asks, how do you deal with procrastinations, and do you have any tips?
Procrastination, I guess. Do it really quick in the last day. No. I mean, it sounds bad, but I have a procrastination problem sometimes. I've gotten a lot better now that I've been on a regular schedule. I have a family and stuff that I have to, support. But really, it's just
from
get it
Cody
done.
for how to deal with procrastination. Get a family.
Yeah, it sounds. Well, yeah, have stakes that if you fail, you will. Yeah. But I mean, it sounds cliche, but just do it. I don't know. Just you have to. If you don't want to do it, stop thinking that. Just do it. So there you go.
Nice. Aquilea asks, do you think that there will ever be another Pacific Rim, a good Pacific Rim media?
No. Well, yeah. Actually, the anime was I actually really like the anime. I'm not even joking. I watched the anime, Pacific Rim: The Black. And that's slept on. Nobody ever talks about that. I wanted to talk about it in the Pacific Rim video, but I didn't have enough time. Yeah, anyone that I mean, that's not necessarily new though. I think that came out a few years ago. But yeah, if anyone is looking for any new Pacific Rim content, there's a Pacific Rim anime that is pretty good called Pacific Rim Black. It's on Netflix.
Nice.
But in terms of an actual movie, never. Del Toro moved away completely from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly. If you could tell your past self when you first started the channel anything, what would it be by Churchill?
Nothing. Because I know that if I did, I would screw it up. I would overthink it, and it would. I mean, probably. I don't know. Don't join Twitter. Maybe that's the one thing. Don't join Twitter. Just avoid it entirely. Yeah, that's another thing for procrastination. Avoid Twitter.
True. Favorite historical site that you would like to visit in its full glory?
Oh,
that's really good.
There is
Parthenon.
Actually, this is the funniest thing. There is a specific city that I've always wanted to explore. It's the Phoenician city of Tyre.
Nice.
And it's really just because of the walls that they describe, that they're like 4 or 5 stories. It's almost like you're in a pit, and the buildings are stacked up on top of each other. And it's on an island, and I'm just like, that's so crazy. So it's like, yeah, people say Rome, people say Carthage. Now I want to go to Tyre. I want to see what that was.
I'm gonna double that on this answer and go with Antioch, which is super nearby and also so much cool history and so much cool things to see.
Honestly, so many cities on the Near East. I just want to see the story. Yeah,
absolutely. What is your favorite time period to look into, both for videos and for your personal studies? By Kodiak.
Honestly, American frontier, colonial. I think pre-revolution colonial times, like the King Philip's War, and even really like Native American wars in general is like just fascinating for me. Seminole Wars. I got really into the Comanche, and I just said that earlier, but I got really into the Comanche and just how brutal they were. So just really anything involving that. But yeah, anything involving American expansion west, really.
Nice.
How about you?
Favorite period to go into for fun? Like I haven't looked into periods for fun for so long. Damn. Oh fuck.
Yeah, when we do this so much as a job, it's like you don't.
Yeah, but I will say that it was so refreshing and so awesome to go back to Mesoamerica. Like I had that profound love for Mesoamerican culture before when I made the Cortez video that got reignited, and yeah, I deeply love Mesoamerican culture.
Yeah, so close.
So we still have a bunch of questions, but we could just keep them in the safe for another time. If you want, we can thing. I'm sure the fans will do it.
Yeah, I mean,
or you want to keep chugging along?
We can do one more
One
just to end it
more?
on.
Okay, give me a random number now. Random number between 48 and 105.
God, I can't.
Actually,
want to be a
Tiger
child
Star
about
has
this.
some good
I
questions
want to be
if
a
you
child
want.
about this. 69.
69. Okay,
Yeah.
Tiger Star, your questions were on 53. So sorry, buddy. They go in the vault.
Okay, we can just we'll do. How about do that? We'll do Tiger Stars and then we'll do 69. How about that? End it on that.
All right, Tiger Star. Let's see. He's got 3 questions.
Oh.
Which war or event do you think has the most underrated potential for alternate history videos?
Which war? I mean, I guess we could say. I don't know if it's underappreciated because everyone kind of admits it's a big deal, but I mean the Carthaginian Wars, probably I mean that's a toughie. I mean I guess I mean I've said 7 Years War once, but even then that's not that drastic. You know what? I would say Northern War just because that's interesting. Like, what if they what if somehow I don't know if they ever could solidify it? Maybe, maybe they could.
That's good. I'm gonna go Byzantine Sassanid. Lots of potential there, and it's very underrated. What is your favorite Alabama song? The band, obviously not the state.
God, it sounds cliche. It sounds cliche to just say "Song of the South," but I'm gonna say "Song of the South" just because it's stuck in my head all the time. It's stuck in my head all the time. I just like whistle it.
Final question from Tiger Star.
Question right there. Yeah.
Where do you stand in the Cola Wars? Coke, Pepsi, or perhaps Dr. Pepper?
So this is funny.
Let's vote. Wait, I'll put a poll in the chat. Vote Coke here. Vote Pepsi here.
I'm 100% Coke. I'm 100%. I drink way too much Diet Coke.
Same.
Like to an unhealthy of extent.
My Coke all the way. Pepsi
my brother
sucks.
though is pure Dr. Pepper. So
Wow.
he loves Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper too. I'm like but I hate Pepsi. I actually hate Pepsi. It tastes so it tastes like cough medicine to me. But if it's Coke, I love Dr. Pepper. I'm like, okay, I like it. But yeah, Pepsi, no. So you're Coke too?
Oh, 100%. I would take not only my Coke, I would take Fanta, Sprite, literally anything than Pepsi. It's not just better; it's a huge divide.
Great minds do think alike. Hot damn.
Would you kick me off the team if I said Pepsi right here?
Nah, I'd respect you less though. No, I'm joking. my wife's aunt, she drinks Diet Pepsi all the time, and it's just like,
yeah.
I just don't. I don't get it. That's all. It's like
I'm super surprised how the Pepsi is even in the ranking and how it's as successful as it is, or at least was.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut down. I'm trying to cut down on Diet Coke though.
Yeah. Sadly, it sucks for health, but yeah. 69 question is from Yuval, and he asks, "What would be one alternative history show you would be interested in watching if it existed, and why?" Good one to end it on.
Ooh, okay.
Good one to end it on. If it was a show, alternative history scenario. If it's a show on Netflix, and which one you want?
I mean, if we're already not discounting the Cortez thing that we just said, other than that, an actual show. I'm just trying to think of the stuff that. This is one you got to ponder. Honestly,
yeah,
a little bit. You got to ponder it a little bit.
Personally, my taste with shows have so much to do with many expeditions that I would go for First Crusade because it has so many colorful characters.
I would say, I mean, there's so many ways you could take this. I would say a Rome. It sounds generic, but a show where Rome did survive, or at least it's more prevalent. It's almost like, I mean, there's that saying that like China is like if Rome never collapsed. So Europe is just unified under this like single idea of Rome. But it's also the idea of how does that idea of Rome change like because it would become Christian, it could
Yeah.
become more disorganized with including more people like the Germans, and eventually what if Rome included the Slavs? That'd be, I mean, like true Rome, not like Eastern, like, you know what I mean, unified Rome, including
Yeah.
the Slavs and stuff.
And for some of the more modern things, I think Russo-Japanese with the Russian fleet going all around the world and having a cast of characters on that ship and Japanese are doing, I think that's a really good show.
Yeah, I mean, I had another one. I had a video that was what if Antarctica was green, and I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's just a fake. It's just a fake colonial thing. But it'd be like you have fake nations and a warm Antarctica. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. There's
Nice.
a lot. There's a lot of, you can make any idea interesting. I know the For All Mankind has like 4 seasons going on now of the Soviets getting on the moon first. So it's like you can take any idea and just go nuts with it once you butterfly it.
Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
Cody, thank you so much for stopping by. I think this was super cool. The people really love it. We had 150 people from the start. We're 104 people an hour and a half in. So that's a very good sign.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hosting. You did fantastic. Finding all those questions. Thank you everyone for joining and listening to us ramble. That's always fun. This is fun though. We should do this more often. I really like this.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. This was fantastic.
Amazing. Well, that's goodbye to Cody, but the stream will continue now as I answer questions and chill out with you guys for a little bit more, maybe about 40 minutes. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We're about to see the audience go from 150 to 30, but it's all good. Just on a personal note, the wave was yesterday, and even as we're speaking, a lot of new people are coming into the server now as we speak. And to all of you, welcome. This is genuinely an attempt to turn a historical community into a thriving place where we learn from each other, we expand on the map, we do great role play, we examine videos that Alternate History Hub posts and also other videos. Like, honestly, I wanted to make a sandbox, and this is what this is all about. If you're confused, if you're intimidated, if you saw the tutorial or the video and you read the tutorial and you're still confused, worry not. Take it one step at a time. There's plenty of people who are willing to help you. But at its core, everything that you can imagine can be done here. There's no programming in this game, which means that the possibilities are very open and very wide. However, great payoff always requires good setup. So keep that in mind as you go on your journey. And now I will read your questions that were server related again from the same place which you asked them. Once again, I was on a short time and I couldn't filter out all the server questions from the original hundreds of questions from these ones, but I'll try my best. So, what is your plan for the future of the server? Any give us a sneak peek in? Yes, I'm taking one step at a time. But for the future, something I could sneak peek is space exploration, space colonization. Basically, having a separate map of stuff like the moon and the solar system, where you can go and make space missions there, and basically add space as an element to the server while everything else is happening. So you have your little nation, or in Indochina, or in Spain, but you also have this here colony on the moon, and it's going to have a whole different system of mechanics there. Thanks everyone who made the server. It's an awesome idea. Do you have a long-term plan with it, or is it just an improvised fun for the time being? The long-term plan depends on the people. So I've created the philosophy, the baseline, and I'm helping as much as I can, but there will come a time when I hand the reins off to Mies and only do creative ideas. So honestly, the creative vision and idea is by you people. There's not a quota. There's not a profitability we need to meet. There's no merch we want to sell. This is purely based out of passion with no ulterior motives by either me or Cody. So a lot of the vision depends on the people itself. What was the main goal of introducing the Discord map game? Example, or was it meant as a form of social experiment or to foster a more engaged community? Honestly, the real question is, to a certain degree, yes, because I was working for Kings and Generals when I first made a concept, and it was created to sell merch. It wasn't an open idea at the time, but that was what gave the idea at the beginning. But once I saw the essays, once I saw all the amazing community and the factions and how people interacted with each other and how different it was from every other community, I decided to make this to build it around this idea of you expanding your knowledge and expanding your state, which is kind of like what this is. In your opinion, what scenarios posted in the Discord would make the chances of a scenario being this? Very good question. So what makes a good alternative scenario? It's very subjective, but ultimately there are some pretty good rules that you can follow that can improve your alternative history writing. One, so you have an idea, right? Most people have an idea, like what if Rome won the Punic Wars? In fact, I dare you right now to put some ideas for alternative history in the chat, and I'll tell you what I mean by this. Most people have an idea for a scenario, but you need to then ask the hows and the whys. So if Rome loses the Punic Wars, what made them lose them? How? What is the point of divergence? America annexes Greenland. Okay, who does it? Why is it done? Why is that interesting? On its face value, it's honestly a bad idea. So what makes it a good idea is fleshing it out with extra questions. So don't follow that initial idea, make it make sense, and then Scipio Africanus never exists. I think that's like okay, but it's a boring and a bland point of divergence. If you can make the point of divergence realistic, all the better for it. What if Czech and Polish Union succeeded? That's an idea. What if Albanian owned the whole world? That's an idea. What if Alan Shepard was the first man in space instead of Yuri Gagarin? That's much closer to a realization. But most people either skip the idea and just do a point of divergence, or they skip the point of divergence and just do the idea. Like, what if Waterloo fails? Like, how does it fail? Why does it fail? What's the point of divergence? So that is a big tip of mine. What continent has been the most fun to watch as it develops? And what continent? What continents? I mean, Europe, Eurasia. It's kind of OP. So I'm gonna break this question down into which region. And I think the most interesting region to watch has been maybe. I don't think there's a massive standout, to be honest. I think the big ones are Germany, Italy, UK, East Coast. It's kind of obvious, but it is what it is. Like they really were very interesting. But what I expected the least was Sacrifier and what he did in Mexico. That was the most unexpected thing that I saw. So, what are your thoughts on other large alternative history YouTubers? I feel that some of them show their political bias way too much, but I don't want to get into that from Cascadia. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of them, it's like politics disguised as alternative history, which I really dislike. And I'm glad we're not really doing that as much on this channel. Are there any plans for the server to make additions for people who might not be as interested in the map game, like an art channel or a channel dedicated to discussing what if scenarios? First of all, what if scenarios is a huge, and the category, don't think of them as just okay, I post this scenario and I check out some of the other people's scenarios and they would maybe check out yours, or make a thread where you discuss something to get better or one particular scenario. For the design thing and the art thing, that's a part of the server. Ultimately, a lot of people here already got so much better at design. I'll be upfront. Everybody right now who are not on the map, you are very low priority. And I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't care about you, it's that it takes a lot of care and upkeep to care about the people who are on the map. Like, the people on the map who engage, who experience everything, they require a lot of attention. And that's where the attention is going to go. And the people who are not on the map, what are they doing? What is it that I need to pay attention to? They're just talking, right? Well, I don't need to pay attention to that. This is not 1984. Let them talk. But I think there's a nice balance where you can just be on the map, do a couple of essays, chill out, and there genuinely is a huge benefit. A big reason why this community works so well is this vetting system. Like I look at Voodoo of Ruvashade, right? I see that he has a culture. That's good. I see that he doesn't have a city. That's bad. And I look at someone like Tom. Tom has been in the server, has a bazillion points. I know the guy. I vetted the guy. And even if I didn't know Tom, even if it was, some random person who has 200 experience, the fact that they have 200 experience means that they went through the vetting process. It's a very, very, very positive system to have. So baseline is this. It's like it takes very little to be engaged in the map, and the payoff for it for both the player and the mods is extremely positive. So if you want a place where you can just shit talk and chill, not the place for you. And why it's not the place for you, and why I'm not interested in that, is that I want to create a place that doesn't exist. I want to offer a service that it's nowhere else, and everything currently most of it you can't find anywhere else. Shit talking and chilling in random servers, chats you can find everywhere else, so that's why it's not a top priority. Thoughts on how big the server has gotten all of the sudden? I love it. I love new ideas. I love new people. I love everything about this. Like, I want to meet as many of you as possible, see the best memes, see the best essays, see the best debate challenges. Like, the more the merrier. Obviously, it means more upkeep, but it's what I signed up for. That concludes the server questions that I had filtered out. So now I'm in the chat. I can answer some Q&As that are directly related to the game, or directly connected to something you're interested in. If you're new or if you're not new, whatever. Let's have some fun. And yeah, we still have 30 minutes. We might make a special event. Kanyu said there would be a meme event tomorrow, right? Yes, correct. Will this podcast be posted later? Shit, I forgot to record it. Maybe that was a great idea. Do you sing Khan? Not at all. I suck at it. Here's the out history scenarios that are started. Are there any plans for a live map plugin? Nope, never. Okay, so what historical figure would you date? Theodora, absolutely. Record the vast majority of it. Awesome. Can you explain the space stuff in more detail? No, because it's months away. I'd rather focus on the things that we're just integrating now, like you spawning resources. Because if you didn't know, that's how you can spawn you can spawn resources now. Favorite Tarantino movie? Oof, that's a good one. Probably shit. That's the first one that comes to mind is Django, but there's a lot of good ones, dude. Will the essays be organized in any particular way, a database of sorts? Yeah, the server is a database. Are there any other permanent server quests other than essays planning to be implemented? If you're talking about activities, yeah, like the debate tournament is something that's the sign up will be open for tomorrow. How do you make these channels? How you find resources? It's explained. You having a nice day. Also, a resource limit to regions. Can we suggest some? I'm having a great day. Thank you very much. And the resources, basically, you're much better off spawning resources that are abundant in the territory that you own. Much better off. You can technically spawn all kinds, but you're much better off figuring out what's predominantly in your area. Is it coal? Is it marble? Is it timber? And focusing on that. Can you get client states if they're just too close to you? Yes. Are there trade routes still patron exclusive that become public alongside the... Did the walls become public? What the fuck?
Yeah, they did.
Really? How? Why?
We talked about that.
Okay, fine.
In context of the skirmishes. So they are pretty expensive.
Oh yeah. My bad. Yeah.
They became the walls became open to the patrons.
Yeah, I forgot. There's just so many things. Yeah. Take it back.
The still a patron exclusive.
Great. Anna asks, how are Isabella and Chrissy doing? Thank you so much, Anna. they're doing very well. We went on another walk today. It's tough though. It's super fucking tough. And around 7 p.m. every day, Chrissy gets hit by an enormous amount of hormones. What else? What else? It's kind of hard to keep up, honestly. I might be skipping some of these. It's not intentional. Missoula wasn't here for his question. I think I asked the Missoula question. Will new cultures be added? Okay, I saw a lot of questions about the new. So let's settle this out. Please, everybody, use this chat responsibly. I want a couple of examples of cultures that not are hypothetical, actual cultures that you actually wish to spawn only. Please go. Eskimo, Occitan, you're planning to go to the gym again? Yes, I am on Monday. Thank you, Queen. Occitan, Celtic, aliens, stupid. Celtic, Caucasian, stupid. Southeast Asian. Okay. Just to be clear, when I say culture, it can definitely be like English, Gascon. Holy shit, Swiss. It could be Gaul. So that's what I mean when I say culture. So let's break it down. Mesoamerican, Aztec, Maya, Texan. Eastern European, for example, is not a culture, not in the context of this. Iranian is not a culture, but Persian is, Sasanian is, Yamnaya is, Christian is not a culture, Gallic, Bavarian, yes. Okay, pause. Everybody pause. We got it. Let's give some examples. So here's how cultures work. Number one, it's if you either have to have a fuck ton of silver or be a patron. Sorry, it's an extra layer of the game that's really awesome. Second, you need to control most of the territory of the culture you want to form. Okay, if you want to form Georgian, either the state or the country, really, you need to control most of the Georgian. If you want to form Byzantine, same shit. If you want to form Peruvian, same shit. Texan, same thing. New English culture, same thing. Canadian, Quebec, or Ontarian culture, same thing. Now, once you have that territory and the mandatory cities for it, so like for Ireland, you need to have the mandatory cities, and you need to control, or a group of you need to control the majority of Ireland. Once you do, and you have the silver, you make a special challenge, or you are a Patreon for it, you spawn the culture, get a unique icon that gets placed on the map. The base culture that you belong to, that you still have that, but you get a DLC which is now the Irish culture. The Irish or the Gallic or the Celtic or the Kievan Rus culture or the ancient Greek culture or Greek culture, like that now gets modifiers similarly to EU4. And they will be negotiated with you, and the harder the culture is to spawn, the better the bonuses will be. For example, spawning the Moroccan culture is going to be far easier than spawning the Umayyad culture, right? Or the Sicilian culture is a very easy to spawn. The two Sicilies cultures is a little to spawn. Now, once you spawn them, the history of that land lends you bonuses. They could be mercantile bonuses like economy, you have better abilities to spawn resources. It could be military, better expansions, better PvP modifiers against other players. But culture is an amazing way to amplify your gameplay experience in the way that you want, right? So whatever the culture is, the harder it is, the better the bonuses. You could probably need some help. You could probably use some friends, some silver, or some patronship to obtain it. And it's going to be your voice keeps skipping words every now and then. Thank you so much, Queen, for telling me. I think this mic is atrocious. Let me check. Is this better? So I switched over to the laptop mic. Is this any better? Yes, I'm so sorry. This is what I'm going to use from now on. I'm very, very sorry. Okay, fuck. How did me and Cody meet? Project Ukraine, questioning history, and ultimately I pitched Outremer to him, and he loved the idea. So if I wanted to make an Irish culture, I'd spend about 100 silver, requested challenge, and completed non-Patreon.
More than 100 silver, but you need to control most of Ireland and definitely have Dublin. He's talking from a normal.
And that is
I can get my better mic if you guys want. I can go and get the mic, but it's not more. Next time I'll get the Blue Yeti because I have a Blue Yeti. It's not in this room. Is 600 more of a ballpark? No. It depends on the color. Like Irish is more like around 200. Let's do a quick example. Let's do 3 examples of people who want to show make a culture. Venetian, Romanian. Okay, last one, Gallic. Okay, Venetian, Romanian, Gallic. Is there a limited amount of cultures you can create? Absolutely not. And remember, each of you will get a very Catalan is a great example. I didn't hear any skipping. So for Venetian, what do you need, guys? Think about this. You need Venice, and you need a bunch of territory that Venice controlled at its peak. Then you pass the challenge and have the silver or the patronship. And now let's think about some bonuses. Better trade routes, a special mechanic, better modifiers for naval warfare, special bonus anytime you're doing Venetian themed essays, Renaissance art. So that's a way that Venice can benefit you. What was the other one? Romanian? Excellent. You need Bucharest. The city must be yours. Additionally, you need to control about 65% of the territory of Romania at its peak. Peak Romania, 65%. You get a unique icon and unique powers related to Romania. What if, for example, multiple nations control that cultural area and mutually choose to make that culture? The price goes up, but it's easier to make.
And that's where the factions come in.
And that's where the factions come in, absolutely.
Your cooperation on culture spawning is the basic skill of the immersion tree. So the basic skills can be unlocked by every faction if they have enough time to do it. So if you have a bigger region with a subculture and you are many players, see that you can form a faction, then the way is open.
Yeah, and for really big cultures, someone said Russian and Mongolian, different rule set. If it's Russia, Mongolia, United States of America, what you do is you take the key cities, so Karakorum, Washington D.C., Moscow, and you take imagine like a cluster. You get the cluster, and then you get the culture, but it's not super strong yet. But the more you expand, the more of the United States you get, the more of Mongolia you get, the stronger that culture becomes. How does capturing cities work? For example, London, great question, British. Every city on the map is a boss battle. Every city on the map is a boss battle. So you need to border it, issue a specific ticket for a challenge against that city, which requires silver, and you need to pass a couple of challenges related to the history of that city. The higher tier the city, the more benefits it gives you, the harder it is to take. So London is going to give you 5 challenges around London and British history, and these challenges will challenge you to make essays, memes, tier lists, alternative history scenarios, and once you've beaten that boss, that city is yours. And if it's a player you want to take it from, so let's say that one guy has London and he is being challenged by another person who wants to take London away from him. There are again 5 challenges, and the best 3 out of 5 wins. If the defender wins, they get a punch of silver from the loser. If the winner wins, London is now theirs. All right. Would you dare be able to participate in just Portugal again? Zako, no, you're very wrong, my friend. You can do that right now. Basically, go America or go Slavic for Soviets and write a bunch of essays about space exploration from what happened in our timeline, or do space exploration alternative history. You can do that. Khan, why the name Khan? I got into YouTube because of my Mongol series, which is Mongols Kings and Generals Season 1, which has over 10 million views. That's really what got me into the YouTube space. And Sid is an homage to the series that really got me into history, Sid Meier's Civilization. It's not my favorite history series, but it's an homage to the thing that really got me going. Specifically Civ 4, which kind of gives away my age. And how long do we get until we submit our essay? You submit it whenever you want. 1 week. For City Conquest, it's 1 week. So just to be clear, before we end this, a reminder. And I will post these as challenges that you can sign up, but just a reminder. Meme Wars live tomorrow. 8 of you will qualify and you will get 25 silver. Qualifications for the debate tournament. Debate tournament can give you upwards to 200 silver. It takes a bit of 20 silver to enter, or 25 as entry fee, but those of you who make it to the top get a fuck ton of silver. Debates are the hardest challenge in this server and the most rewarding challenge in this server. It's not gamble. It's you enter a fee to go into the tournament, and and for every opponent you beat, you progress and you get silver for every. When's the meme war? Tomorrow, same time that this event started, but 8 people of the server, Tom, please post their names here, have already qualified based on the memes if you posted already. Are we going to have RP events again? Yes, we're working on that, and if you're interested, join a faction.
Talk to me.
Yeah, and a lot of I can't keep up. So I'm posting basic. So tomorrow, everybody, tomorrow, challenge essays about independence movements because of it's March 3rd tomorrow. Okay, T3, Hurelian, Toaster, Lake Person, Von, Palermo, and Mikla, all 8 of you qualify. No, what the fuck? Why about? No, Tom. Ticarius and Histo needs to be in there.
I just
That's
took the
outdated.
list from the mod channel.
Yeah, I know. It's their fault, but they need to be in this. Even
I want
okay.
to do the judges.
Oh, interesting question. Well,
the judges should not be participating.
True. Okay, I'll figure it out later. Whatever. How can we get on the list? This list doesn't matter. How you get on the list is tomorrow be in the meme war event and beat your opponents. The way it's going to work is pretty fun. Okay, hear me out. I give you guys a topic. American Revolution, go. And you meme about American Revolution within 3 minutes. The best meme in that round qualifies and gets 25 silver straight away. Then I go Napoleonic Wars. Boom! Everybody tries to make a meme about the Napoleonic Wars. The best of them qualifies, moves on, and we repeat this 8 rounds. So 8 rounds, 8 qualifiers, 8 people getting 25 silver. Are there teams in debate and meme wars? No, they're not. Is it just going to be hosted in stage or just in chat? It will be hosted on this stage. It will be judged live, and the memes will be posted in this chat, and it will test you making memes, but also being very quick. What if I'm terrible at making memes? Then you should try to win at essays or debates or play or any of the other stuff, or alternative history, etc. A person said that we're very helpful and loves the server. Thank you. It really means a lot. This is not easy. We're doing it out of the generosity and the passion that we have. The server is not making money at this point. So all of your help, all of your patience is very much appreciated. Right. So independence movements tomorrow is a great way to. The meme wars, the debates I already mentioned. If you haven't made a suggestion over here, I'm gonna drop a lot of. I'm gonna be very generous, good vibe. I'm gonna go through all of this and pull out my hair, and give silver to these. But most of these will be the guideline. One big bit of advice for all of you here: always read the question, the prompt, the essay, the debate question. It will save you a lot of trouble. Read it 5 times before you make a post, because when it comes to the best of the best, you are splitting hairs here. So it's always going to be who answer the question best. Right. So that's pretty much it. Did you say most will be disqualified? I mean, like, very few will make it to the top. Many will get like 10 silver. Many will get disqualified. And maybe like 20 of you is gonna get 20 silver, which is still a huge number. That's still 400 silver given away. Tom, yeah, that's great. Faction flag tier list is coming. Just Cody has a finite amount of time with his family and everything he's doing, so I didn't want to take too much of his time. Me, on the other hand,
You can do them now if you want.
Oh, now I'm a little exhausted right now, but I thoroughly enjoyed this contest. So let's see, final Q&A of any kind. Don't spam in the chat so it's easy for me to follow. Question well formatted, and boom. RC Cola. I'm not sure what RC Cola is. So Q&A could be personal, could be anything. Slack channel when? Not a priority. When will map update? Every Monday. What got you into YouTube? A weird offer from Kings and Generals to make a Mongols video while I was in med school. When will essays be graded? All the time. Just be patient and make a bunch of them. Can we make